Hello, my name's Tommy and today I am making spaghetti and meatballs. You can see in the background I've got the water starting to boil already, or I'll turn it on. And we want to start to boil that while we're preparing everything else. I've also got the meatballs over here prepared from a different recipe. They're nice and hot and ready to go in. So first I'm going to start by cutting up some fresh basil, oregano, and garlic. And also rosemary. Do the basil first. We don't want the stems in this, just the leaves from the stems. You want to try to get this not too fine, but just into small enough chunks to where it can be dispersed throughout the sauce and the spaghetti. Once we get this chopped up, everything chopped up, we'll move over to the sauce next. Got some oregano here. Oregano is really strong herb, so you don't want to use too much of it. And we're going to chop this one a little bit finer just because it's so strong. And lastly, the rosemary. Once again, no stem, just the leaves. Alright, we've got these all chopped up. If you've got a garlic press, you can use the garlic press for your sauce too. You just toss the clove, a whole clove in, you're going to use that and press it right in. Just going to leave that there. I guess I'll take it with me. We're going to move over here. Alright, so first we have crushed tomatoes today. It's the same thing as chopping and then crushing, but we're just going to use this a little bit quicker, more efficient. So we're going to start the heat on the front burner for the sauce. Just let that heat up real quick, and we're going to put a little bit of salt in the water, and then also a little bit of olive oil. This will help the noodles from sticking. Next, we're going to dump the sauce into a pot. Pull out. I'm going to use 2 cans today. Splatter a little bit. If you can reach down in to pour it in, it won't quite splatter as much. There's about 5 cups in each can. Now we're going to put our tomato paste in. We're going to stir it up a little bit and just put our tomato paste in the pot. Blend it a little bit and just let it come right out. Really trying to work this stuff out. It's kind of hard to get out. It's really pasty. Alright, stop the video. I'm going to add the lid to the water to help it boil quicker. And now we're going to start mixing. You can look in there, you can see the sauce and then the tomato paste. We're going to start mixing that together. It's going to come to a simmer on medium heat. Kind of mix that together pretty good. The paste is going to thicken the sauce up some, because it is. I mean, everybody knows how saucy tomatoes can be, so I'm going to try to thicken that up a little bit so it's not too watery or runny. Right, next we're going to add the spices into the sauce. Got our oregano in, and just mix that in a little bit. And our rosemary in there, mix that in a little bit too. And lastly, our fresh basil, which will add some color to the sauce, because there's quite a bit more that's being added, quite a bit more flavor too. Now, if I were to make this ahead of time, you'd want to make the sauce a little bit sooner, that way the herbs can seep into the sauce and really enhance the taste better. But we don't quite have that much time, so we're adding them now. Alright, now we're going to add some pepper and some sea salt to the sauce. Any kind of salt will really work. Just like using this because it's a little bit thicker, a little bit more natural. I like a lot of salt. Some people don't even like any salt, so that's kind of your discretion. Let's see if the water has come to a boil yet. No, not quite. Alright, you can stop it. Now that the water is boiling, we're ready to add the noodles. But right before we do that, it's just starting to come to a boil. We're going to crush our garlic into our sauce that's been simmering. You can see it's starting to come out. We're just going to use our wooden spoon to scrape it in. Stir it in. Now we're going to add our meatballs to our sauce. I'm going to use a little spoon just so we don't drop them in there too hard. You could use a few more meatballs for this sauce just because we have so much, but I'm only looking at 2 or 3 on each plate instead of 5 or 6. I'm just going to mix them in and keep this on a low heat just so the taste of the meatballs can get into the sauce a little bit as well. Now we're going to add our noodles. We're going to take off the lid for our water, which is boiling, and add our noodles to the water. These are going to cook for 8 to 10 minutes. And we're going to use this to stir them once they start to soften up. They should start softening up real quick. These are really thin noodles, so and kind of stir them until they start getting nice and soft. We're going to keep this on a fairly high heat so the noodles continue to cook at a constant temperature. Just gonna put the lid back on. Cook a little bit now. While we continuously stir them, we're also gonna put the lid for the sauce on top of the sauce. Why we keep it nice and warm. We're gonna continuously stir the noodles every 2 to 3 minutes for about a minute to make sure that they don't stick to the pan and everything stays good and everything turns out nicely. Alright, our pasta is boiled and cooked completely. Now we're going to come over to the sink and drain it. Make sure you have something to protect your hands with. You should go real slow. Make sure, try not to splatter any of this. Nice and slow. Spaghetti's gonna start coming over. Just start just slipping down in there. So you're gonna go nice and slow, that way it doesn't splash up on you. There we go. Shift around a little bit. Our pasta into a new pot. I'm going to take back over here to the stove where we have the sauce. We'll just pop the lid on here real quick, and now we're going to plate. And we're going to plate it. Put our Parmesan cheese, for any Parmesan cheese. I don't have any mozzarella. That's my favorite, but go without tonight. So we'll get our plate, grab some spaghetti, maybe a little bit less, go a little bit less than that. Ooh, there we go. Lid back on, keep it nice and warm. Our sauce, meatballs, stir it around a little bit, just in case it's settled too much. Get a couple meatballs on there. Let's get 3. Go with 3. There we go. Just one little scoop. See the meatballs in there. Just put it right on top. And then we're going to put our Parmesan cheese. And we're done. There it is. Bon appetit.